shooting people and murdering them. Isn't it fun? And that's what they keep pushing on people, pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And it's just, that's the culture. That's not a culture. That's Sodom and Gomorrah. But hey, what is history? Hey, no one reads the Bible. Hey, how dare you reference the Bible? But hey, I'm surrounded by a bunch of fake Christians that think that, hey, we're just going to leave it to God and allow this to happen because God put this in place. No, he didn't. These people put it in place. And it's because of the people that didn't stand up. This is what happens is your country falls if you don't stand up against evil. It's told in the Bible several times that if you don't stand up against evil, you give into it, and then you just like it. You just go, all right, fine, that's all right. Bring on the devil. Like, what is the purpose of having the devil here anyway? Hell is already upon us. But hey, I'm digressing again. It is just so sick. Number 5, there will be increasing anti-American violence inside the United States. These days, a lot of Americans are being attacked and sometimes killed down in Mexico. The following is from a recent ABC News article. American travelers to Mexico should beware of possible violent relation for this week's arrest of alleged Xantez drug cartel associates and family members inside the U.S. And the U.S. State Department has warned, though the warning does not specify which, the transnational criminal organization might engage in anti-American violence. On Tuesday, federal authorities arrest 7 alleged associates of the power Xantez drug cartel in New Mexico and Oklahoma for allegedly laundering millions in drug profits, though breeding and racing quarter horses in the U.S. Those arrests include I don't really know some of these names. You can look for it at Infowars.com and on AmericanDream.com. But it gets in these names here. The brother of the leader of the organization, and these guys still remain at large in Mexico. I was gonna say something, but I forgot what it was. See, I got a Freudian block here. As Mexican drug cartels and criminal gangs expand north, it is eventually that anti-American violence will spread deeper and deeper into the U.S. itself. The level of violence that we are seeing down in Mexico right now is obviously frightening. These drug cartels can be obviously brutal. 14 dismembered bodies were found in a truck in the center of a town in northern Mexico on Thursday in what appeared to be the latest atrocity committed by rival gangs battling over drug smuggling routes, local media said. Well, that's what happens when you keep decriminalizing drugs and keeping it illegal. And if you legalized it and not criminalize it, I mean decriminalize it actually, if you decriminalize it and make it more legal and let the profits go in and regulate it like alcohol, then, this wouldn't have this kind of problem. But hey, that's all right. Oh, there is the bodies of 11 men and 3 women were discovered in the sugar cane farming town of Monte. Was it Kende Monte in the south of I can't say that was the state, which borders on Texas. Daily reported on its website. Yeah, I've heard that there's it's like a war zone down there. It's a total war zone at the border, which it gets into here. Overall, more than 55,000 people have been killed in drug-related violence in Mexico since 2006. Is that the kind of violence that we want in this country? Hey, they say bring it on. They say we love it. So, bring it on. We're going to love the TSA groping us. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to see a bunch of just dead people all around us and just war zones everywhere, just like Liberia and Sierra Leone, just like Uganda, just like Liberia. Not Liberia, I already said Liberia. Libya, just like Egypt, just like other countries. I mean, is there nothing we want to put up with? Are we going to say finally enough is enough? Probably not. We never say never. All right, continuing here. Already the region along the U.S.-Mexico border is an open war zone. Just across the U.S. border, the city of Juarez, Mexico, is considered to be one of the most dangerous cities on the face of the earth. Well, I can look at the map right here, and where that city is right at the borderline with El Paso, Texas. There it is. It's between El Paso, Texas, and New Mexico. It's near New Mexico and El Paso, Texas. That's where the war zone is going on. So if you guys don't know how to read, just here's the atlas. I have an atlas right here. It's not that hard to read a map, guys. I mean, come on. But hey, we want to always look up GPS systems on Google. We always want to look up other things because hey, it's really good. Well, they spy on you. Well, it's good to be spied on. Feel like a bunch of criminals. This is not really for our security, but in fact, Juarez is now the murder capital of the Western Hemisphere. But instead of strengthening security along the border, Barack Obama wants to make the border meaningless. Yeah, because, hey, open it up so they can flood in and destroy and just gut the country even more. You see, it's going to happen with the Civil War. The globalists are going to open up the borders, make everybody fight amongst each other. The votes will literally shift to Democrats to continue this agenda of destabilizing the country, and then the Civil War comes, and then they're going to sit offshore to their offshore banks, and then things are just going to keep imploding, but not until we actually stand up against it. We can still turn this around, but hey. Number 6, massive bribes will corrupt our judicial system. When there are billions of dollars involved in it is crap. I already know that word. It's I can't say that word for some reason. Anyway, that some members it's how do you say it? It's on the tip of my tongue and I can't even say it. See, it happens. It will happen that some members of the police and some members of the judiciary will take bribes. Of course, they're already taking bribes. And say, you know what? Not guilty. Well, they murdered 30 people. Not guilty. You know what? We're going to just make the unguilty guilty. The people that just are taxpayers. You paid your taxes? Well, guess what? You're guilty. And you're going to be raped in federal prison. It's going to be fun. Isn't tyranny fun? Not necessarily. Just look at what has happened down in Mexico. The following is from a recent article in the New York Times, which you actually can click the link from Infowars.com. Excuse me. When you tally it all up, bribery may be the single largest line item on a cartel's balance sheet. In 2008, the president owned drug czar, the president of Mexico, his own drug czar, was charged with attempting $450,000 each month, presumably such was it gargantuan bribes to senior officials cascade down, securing the alliances of their was it subordinates? I don't know why I can't say these words. I know these words, and it just loses me like an Alzheimer's patient. See, it's the fluoride. I can blame that. It's probably my own stupidity. Anyway, continuing, we have it. We have to look into this, the higher commands, so they can issue the information to lower rates and order whatever they want. It's good. The corrupt cop testified, but in key judiciation, the cartel most likely makes payments up and down the chain of command. In a 2010 speech, Mexico's Secretary of Public Security together, the cartels spend more than $1 billion each year just to bribe the police. What would you do if you were offered a bribe of $550,000 a month? I would say, hey, thanks for the money. Now I'm going to make a film about you giving me the bribe. So if I'm going to go down, you're going to go down with me. How about that? Don't assume that Americans are so much more moral than the Mexicans are. Yeah, because people, if you give them money and they're struggling, yeah, they're going to do whatever it takes. They're going to just go, all right, fine. If they're crooked, I'll be crooked. Fine. Hey, I'm not really going to get caught for it, but it's fun. Number 7, gang activity will continue to grow in the United States by leaps and bounds. Gang activity is obviously exploding inside the United States. According to the FBI, there are now 1.4 million gang members involved in the 33,000 different gangs that are active inside the United States. The number of gang members in America has increased by 40% since 2009. Those status should be very alarming to all of us. What are we going to do if gangs keep growing at this rate? We're just going to say, hey, come on board. It's like Al-Qaeda, come on board. Well, even though it's a fake Al-Qaeda, that's actually CIA, duh. But that's all right. Most people just love it. It's like, come on. Just rape me real good. Come on. Give me death. Anyway. I should stop right there. According to federal statistics, there we go. To federal statistics, gang members are responsible for up to 80% of all violent crimes committed in the United States every year. A very large percentage of these gang members have entered the United States from Mexico, but the federal government refuses to do anything to stop it. That's right, because they're going to bring it in. They're going to allow them to come in. They're going to allow them to go in your house, steal your things, steal your belongings, and say, hey, if you're going to fight them back, you can't. You're going to be arrested. You're going to be taken to jail, and they're going to rape you there, and they're going to do other things to you. They're going to murder you. You're just going to have to take it and shut up. Sit there and shut up. It is just ridiculous. Not that I would stand up against this, guys. It's just like a no-brainer. Number 8, the decline of our healthcare system will continue to escalate. Illegal immigrants are overwhelming emergency rooms all over the country. They walk in, receive high quality treatment, and often never pay after they leave. Things have gotten so bad in many areas of the nation that it is causing entire hospitals to go bankrupt and shut down. In a previous article, I described what unchecked illegal immigration is doing to the healthcare system in California. And by the way, this is not me talking. This is Michael, the guy that did this article, which is Michael Snyder. Let's go back to it. That was number 8. Thanks to illegal immigration, California's overstretched healthcare system is on the verge of collapse. Dozens of California hospitals and emergency rooms have shut down over the last decade because they could not afford to stay open after being endlessly swamped by illegal immigrants who were simply not able to pay for the services that they were receiving. Excuse me. As a result, the remainder of the healthcare system in the state of California is now beyond overloaded. This had led to brutally long waits, ambulances, and unnecessary patient deaths. Sadly, the state of California now rates dead last of all 50 states in the number of emergency rooms per million. Wow. It's insanity. Number 9, legalizing illegal immigrants will cause a huge shift in voting patterns. Excuse me. Instead of looking out for the American people, many Democrats support legalizing illegal immigration because it will give the Democratic Party more support at the polls. This is incredibly selfish and self-serving, but this is the way that the political game is played in 2012. Number 10, there will be a flood of new illegal immigrants. Amazingly, far more people move into the United States illegally than come in through the legal immigration process. As word spreads of the Obama amnesty, millions more will come on over. After all, what would they have to lose? If they get caught crossing over, they will just get nicely sent back and can try again in a few days. Yes, because they're going to treat them nicely, and the scum Americans are going to be treated like scum, like prisoners. So you guys better bend over and get your genitals grabbed, and and get some proctology exams. It's just because it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to touch on your genitals. It's going to be fun to grow up your wife and grow up your children. Because hey, we're going to treat the illegal immigrants as the new American citizens now. Because this is not America anymore. This is Bankerstan, occupied America under UN regulations, under UNESCO, in FEMA regions now. That's why I'm in FEMA Region 9 in Las Vegas, Nevada. But hey, I'm digressing again, which I always do, because this is lunacy. If they make it, if they can make it, they can take advantage of all the free goodies here in the United States. Thanks to Obama, the odds of deportation are now very slim, and they can often make significantly more money in the underground economy in the U.S. than they can back home. So what is the downside for illegal immigrants? What is the pain? If you do get deported, you can always sneak back in. Security along the U.S. border with Mexico is a total joke, which is true. It is a total joke, especially when they don't even secure the border and they just allow the National Guard to leave it, not even to protect it, to make sure that there is no illegal immigrants going through. But hey, they just go, okay, pass right by. It's all right. The other question we have is, do you have illegal fruit? It's just like in California. You have illegal fruit? We can't allow illegal fruit in here. All right, you can pass. It's all right. It's all right. Let's keep it going. Sadly, many politicians on both sides of the border seem very pleased that the United States and Mexico are slowly but surely being loving the illegal immigration. In fact, one gets the impression that Barack Obama would be quite pleased if the border between the United States and Mexico were to disappear completely. Politicians like Obama don't seem to care about the impact that the illegal immigration is having on this country. They are obviously obsessed with their social and political agendas, and they aren't going to allow a few inconvenient details to derail them. Unfortunately, there is not much hope for significant change anytime soon. Mexico is already a failed state, and we are freely allowing millions of their bad guys to pour into our country. In the end, we will pay a very great price for our foolishness. Yes, we will. That's why it's going to be fun for the federal government to come in and just take your house with illegally. Hey, I paid this off. Doesn't matter. We're taking this. Well, why? Well, we've already passed the National Defense Resource Preparedness. We're taking over this town. We're taking your house. Why is that? It's not your house. Doesn't matter. We're taking it. This is now a military base, and we're going to take it. We're going to give the illegal immigrants your jobs. We're going to make you live in FEMA camps now, and we're going to make you work in slave labor. But hey, I shouldn't talk about that because, hey, that's depressing. Even though it's not, it's actually for you people to wake up. But hey, we don't want to wake up. We want to be about just servile idiots, just watch the tube. And we want to see our families die. We want to see our families just get totally gutted. We want to see this country get totally gutted by the globalists. We want to see the country fall. We don't want to stand up against this. We can do it, but we decide not to. Wow. And then we have these fake men all the time just saying that it's cool to know about the games, your video games, everything else that doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter. It's the same thing as films. It doesn't even matter about that either. It's like it doesn't matter. Only thing that matters right now is making sure this country goes back. And I hope all of you will help each other to bring this country back. If not, sorry for you. We're going on to the next subject, and it's already like an hour into this worldwide transmission. Google growing effort by government to censor the web. That's right, because they've been trying to censor the web for years, since 2008. They've been trying to censor Alex Jones and Infowars.com and on Prison Planet, as well as End vs. the Man and many others. Hey, and We Are Change. Hey, and RT, they did that in YouTube as well. They tried to shut down Alex Jones' website constantly. But then, hey, we want to listen to the Young Turks, the ones that have been bought and paid for by Al Gore, the one that's pushing for carbon taxes and wants everybody just dead. All right, I'm going to stop right there. Let's do this Kurt Nemo article from Infowars.com. This was released today. I should end this this podcast now, but I'm just going to get into these articles here, these three other articles, and then I'm going to get to this big one, the Death Summit, that they want to push their agenda. Here we go. Today we're releasing data showing government requesting to remove blog posts or videos or hand over user information made from July July to December 2011, writes Dorothy Chow, senior policy analyst. Unfortunately, what we've seen over the past couple years has been troubling, and today is no different. When we started releasing this data in 2010, we also added negotiations with some of the more interesting stories behind the numbers. We notice that government agencies have different countries would sometimes ask us to remove political content that our users had posted on our service. We hope this was a joke, but now we know it's not. Chow notes that the increase in requests for takedowns and demands for user information are coming from so-called democracies. This is the fifth data set that we've released, and just like every other time before, we've been asked to take down political speeches. It's alarming not only because free expression is at risk, but because some of these requests come from countries you might not expect. Western democracies not typically associated with censorship. Google has compiled with an ordinary number of these requests. 65% it's organizing from court orders, and 47% and informal government requests. Zhao writes that the numbers we share can only provide a small window into what's happening on the web at large, but we do hope that by being transparent about these government requests, we can continue to contribute to the public debate about how government behaviors are shaping our web. Yeah, the takeaway to take away the freedom on the web, basically, to tax the web, to do RFID cards on the web, to track you everywhere you go, to track you what you're doing on the web, so then they can limit you for freedom of speech, for talking about your government. Hey, you have to like it. If you don't like it, we're going to take you in FEMA camp. And you know what? We have this website here that you said you didn't like your government for. Why didn't you like your government? Why is that? Well, guess what? You're going to a FEMA camp. It's illegal. It's been ruled illegal. But hey, you're going to go in one. It's a concentration camp, but that's all right. You're going to go and have slave labor. We're not going to pay you. And it's going to be fine. Anyway. Considering the nature of government and its propensity to behave in a centralized and authoritarian fashion, the status Google released on Sunday are hardly surprising. From CISPA, PIPA, and SOPA to so-called cybersecurity measures, government is actively working to control the internet and impose numerous restrictions that will ultimately have an effect on free speech and privacy. In addition to forcing websites offline, as the government has done on numerous occasions, most notorious in the case of Mega Upload, government has called for stripping the internet of its anonymity and forcing ID tokens on users and other control freak scums, nuts, other control freak politicians. Government continue.